You can believe you're not worthy of a thing and still attain it. You can be adamant that your efforts are going to go badly and still succeed. You can grip and grasp and fear and it ruin the enjoyment and be totally unwarranted and things still go well. You can have no self-belief and show up anyway. You can want more for yourself without knowing exactly what that looks like. You can doubt the process, question your talent, be uncertain that you're making progress, disparage your accomplishments, permanently feel like you're not working hard enough no matter how hard you work, never give yourself a break, fail to fully feel gratitude, be terrified of never reaching your goals, and still end up in a place that your 20-year-old self could not imagine.
Say this to yourself every day. See, as long as you're breathing, you got a shot at your dream. That's the way I resolve. Say this, please. It's not over until I win. You got that right. Not over till I win. Not over till I get through. It's not over till I get over. Not over till I get what I want. Door can't open today, look out. I'm gonna come back and take the hinges off. That's how you gotta do that.
I came to a place in life where I just didn't like me anymore. I looked in the mirror and I'm like, I will not spend the next 50 years with this guy.
So there's nothing there. And just think, there's no one coming to save you, except Mr. Goggins, who's gonna punch you square in your face and tell you shut up and do the thing. And that is 100% what you need right there.
People are so constrained in their thinking of what level of effort is because they haven't considered what trading way more for that thing is. But they would be willing to trade far more for that thing if the trade were clear. But because they've never tried hard at anything, they just think, oh, this is what trying looks like, which might be like the occasional Google search and a couple hours a week of like watching some videos on YouTube on something. It's like, that is not trying. Like, that is not trying. Like, if you cannot count the amount of repetitions that you're having in the hundreds, that is not trying. It doesn't matter if a nuclear bomb went off, but all you see is a straight line, completely undisturbed by the things that are going around them. Because you can beat 99% of people without being smarter or luckier, but by being willing to endure pain and uncertainty for longer. It's hard for you, it's hard for everyone else. And most people avoid hard things, which is why you can beat most people by just trying and continuing to try. And the main thing is that I think most people don't even know what trying feels like.
People think we're motivated by pleasure. And when I sat with Nir Eyal, who wrote the book on distraction and procrastination and why people do it, one of the really key messages I took away was that we're actually motivated by the avoidance of discomfort.
You know, fuck your tired body, fuck that unmotivated mind, and get out there and do it anyway. You know, you better fight yourself, because you're not only winning when things are going your way. You got to figure out how to win when things aren't going your way. You got to figure out when your body's fighting you, when your mind's fighting you. How do you still, just say, fuck it, I'm gonna beat my mind today.
Everything in my life, volume negates luck. Violence is the answer. Like, these are sayings that are plastered around the wall of this office because they've been so true for me that you can brute force what you want into reality. And yes, today, we talked about trades that we're not willing to make. But if you want something, like, did you fucking move mountains?
Many of you are creating stories that you tell yourselves to make yourself feel better about why your product isn't as good as it should be, but you have an excuse that only you need to believe. And you believe that excuse, so it excuses you from working harder on the stuff you know you should be doing but aren't. And that work, the work you know you should be doing but aren't, is the opportunity, because that is the work that your competitors also aren't doing. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my soul, it is so easy to beat people today. They are so soft. They have no work ethic. No one can stick with anything. Everyone's distracted. They're on social media. They're counting their notifications because they can't stick with shit. They can't say no.
If you become aware of the discomfort, you can counteract it. But if you're not aware of it, it's an object you just can't hit. So that changed my life, that question. What is the psychological discomfort I'm avoiding right now?
And when you go from being uncomfortable, that's your lifestyle, you get used to being uncomfortable. Right. When you go back to being comfortable, your mind says, I don't want to go back to being uncomfortable again.
Pain isn't proof of misalignment. It's proof you're growing. It's proof it matters. And ultimately, it reveals to you whether it matters enough. If you give up because something's hard, it means you didn't care enough about the thing. We do the most difficult things as humans for things we care about.
It's not over until I win. Got that right. It's not over till I win. Not over till I get through. It's not over till I get over. Not over till I get what I want. Door can't open today, look out. I'm gonna come back and take the hinges off. That's how you gotta do that. You've got to have that kind of courage, that type of determination.
Stop breaking promises to yourself. When you say, I'm going to wake up tomorrow at 7 a.m., and when the option comes to hit the snooze button, don't do it. There's one win that you've got for the day. That's action.
My new norm is you get up every morning at 4 o'clock and you suffer. This is your new norm. That became my new life. Most people want to get out of it. I said, no, this is your new life. This is who you are. Your new norm is you wake up and you suffer. And I started realizing if that's my mentality, this shit ain't hard anymore.
Right.
Your new norm is you wake up, you get in the cold water, you're gonna be here till the shit's done.
We don't rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are.
Is know that when no one's watching, I work harder than when they're watching. And thinking about it like that has given me this persistent and ever-present scorecard or third party that's like, no one's watching, which means now you have to work, because otherwise you're full of shit.
You do not become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt. And ultimately, hoping that you're going to be able to believing that you can think your way out of a thinking problem is like believing you can sniff your way out of a cocaine addiction, right? You have to give yourself something else that's going to step change where you're at.
Listen to me. The most important thing is this: to be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become.
Shut the up. What the hell are you talking about? When you expect to feel like you always want to go to the gym or always want to do your taxes or always want to do whatever it is you think is important, you have made a grand illusion. Some of the time, you will not want to do the thing.
And I reflect on that always in my life and go, there was this time I was in Boston and I was running on a tread machine, and I always do 10 kilometers on this tread machine. I hit the button, 21 kilometers. And I was perplexed, absolutely perplexed. Every time I run 10 kilometers, I feel knackered. I ran 22 when I couldn't see the thing, and it was just a limiting belief, a wall I'd built, and I told myself that that was my limit. And we have drawn circles around ourselves, and those circles are determining how far we push, how far we aim, the things we decide to do, but they are just figments of our imagination.
Because once you hit the top of the mountain, guess what happened? I'm good, so you wonder why you're falling down now. Because once you reach the top of the mountain, you gotta build another one. That's mediocrity. There's a lot of people in mediocrity who have a nice resume. What are you doing today, tomorrow, the next day? That's why I'm listening to theorists. I don't listen to all that bullshit. I listen to who's like this, man. What's wrong, man? I'm tired, dude. Why are you tired? Because tomorrow, I gotta do the shit again, man. Whatever the shit is that made me nauseous and sick to my stomach, it made me hurt. There's no ending.
You know, they say that the mark of maturity is when you finally realize that no one is coming to the rescue. No one's coming to the rescue. That the difference between the mature person and the immature person is the mature person accepts that they're totally responsible for their own life, that they are where they are and what they are because of themselves. Now, this is a hard thing to accept, but you have decided exactly every single part of your life today. You've decided your income and your home and your health and your weight. You've decided your bank account and your car. You've decided your job and your future. You've decided every single part of it. Why? It's because you're free to choose.
The thing I believe is that you got to be willing to do what others aren't, right? Want to have what others won't. You got to be willing to do what others don't.
If people really care about changing minds, they need to realize, and assuming that they think that they're correct, they need to realize that like intellectual chasm from where they are and where other people are. And you go, okay, I'm going to take you one step at a time.
But it does mean you can't be strong if you're weak. If you're weak, you're f***ed. And there's a lot of weak people in this country right now that are trying to take control. And they're gathering up all the other weak people and they say, yeah, let's all be weak together.
I said, well, I don't know whether it's going to work or happen as well, but I know that if you did the work, it's likely to happen.
Yeah.
And I go, but are you willing to do the ugly?
Yeah.
He said, what do you mean? I said, the ugly.
But human beings with this incredible brain will keep going down the fourth tunnel forever. They will keep doing what they've always done. They will get into a rut, which we call a comfort zone, They will set a series of habits that are not serving their best interests, and they will keep on with those habits, and they will keep doing things that no longer make them happy, that no longer give them any cheese, and they will keep doing them year after year.
Think like the person you intend to become. Like the Christian question, what would Jesus do? Ask yourself, how would the person I'd like to be? And when you're ready to grow on your own, the seed of that acorn holds not only your potential, but the potential of every future generation of acorns that will spring from that line. So let me ask a question. What kind of seed is in you? See, I believe part of our responsibility in life is to find out who we are, to discover ourselves. First off, we need to